Welcome back. Well, it's been about 2 days and the problem came back. We ended up getting a stabitrak light, no all-wheel drive, traction control, all the lights are on. The pedal started pulsating and I was thinking, oh man. So I brought it in. I'm going to set it on the lift here. The pulsating I feel in the steering wheel, and like I said, this just started. It isn't, you know, a vibration kind of pulsation. In the rear, excuse my voice, in the rear we had one pad on the inside. It was good shape, and one pad fell off. It's bonded, fell off and was down, and that looked like it touched the rotor, maybe. I don't know, because it was kind of lodged in there like that. And so, hey, cool, let's just put pads on. So we put pads on, and we checked the light, and the light was on. So I put the scanner in, and I reset it, and the light was off. We test drove it, it drove fine. And like I said, a couple days, it came back again. I think I got my key on, right? Key in or on? Key on. And then what we got to do is pull this side apart because it feels like it's on this side. It's either drive axle, wheel bearing, wheel speed sensor, all the above. We're going to find out. Alright, I got the lift up just a little ways, not even one click. And the reason is I want to pull the lugs off. I've got 5 or 6. Got this one loose, but what I want to do is pop the center cap off and then put the wheel back on, because usually the drive axle nut is torqued 100, 125, something like that. I'd look it up per vehicle. And usually when it's in the air, you can't, you know, get it loose. You try to turn the whole axle, whatever. So let's see if we can see anything before I do that. What I want to do is take a light in here. I don't have a lot of time today, but I wanted to see if anything's noticeable. When it rolled forward, I got like this up and down sensation, like something was out around, and that's kind of weird. I had Dawson drive the car forward while I kind of jogged alongside of it, and I didn't see the tire moving up and down, left and right. I didn't see any of that. So that's why I was thinking it's either drive axle, which feels pretty tight, and it doesn't clunk putting it in gear or nothing, and it doesn't vibrate and grind going around a corner. That's usually a wheel bearing. There is a little bit of road noise you hear. It could be wheel bearing, but usually if you roll the wheel to one side, the weight's over there, it gets louder. So let's see if we can, I don't know, see anything else going on here. The pads, they're like new in there. And I took these apart the other day, and because I thought it was up here, and the scanner said left rear, but I don't know. Everything looks good. I'm going to get a pry bar and pry things up and down, see if there's any movement anywheres. Well, I don't feel anything loose under here. These struts I put on, I don't know, a few years ago. You check your spring, whatever, and it's not cracked or broken. That's all tight in there. And then the CV boots look good. There's no leaks. I would know because that's my vehicle, but I don't see any leaks. The ball joint feels tight. Backing plate looks good. Tie rod end's good. Inner tie rod end's good. I put sway bar links on it a few years ago. 2 or 3. And that's not the problem. But like I said, it's in your brake pedal. When you go to step on the brake, you get this tunk, 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 tunk. I'm like, ooh. Caliper's tight. See, I don't know if that wheel bearing might have fallen apart or something in there, but I did rear wheel bearings on it a couple years ago, but I didn't do the front. And they're probably due. So the amount of test driving that we did, I didn't show on camera, was pretty good. We went and both of us listened out both sides and did all kinds of stuff, but this is different. So I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, probably put in a new wheel speed sensor. If we're going to do a bearing, we're going to do a sensor because they go at the same time. This comes up, goes in through the firewall area, fender well area. I'm going to take the brakes apart again, obviously. And yeah, that's what I'll probably do this on time lapse or something. Might be a couple of days because I got other stuff to do. But I need to get this fixed. I've got 1 month left on the inspection. So I want to get this done prior. I want to make sure it passes. Well, I hope I'm on the right track here. I don't see anything wrong except that don't look too good down in here. You see the rust on the gear? I don't know the proper name, but it's on the end of your axle shaft, the spline. And you see the mark. Let's see if I can get my hands in there. The marks right here. I believe that's a tone ring, they call it. And you have to make a good connection. Otherwise, your sensor light will come on. And here's a new wheel bearing. And there's like the tone ring, I guess you call it. So it does a magnetic kind of pickup, I guess, on its way around something here. I don't know the proper terminology, obviously. But the new wheel bearings are here. And I think I'm on the right track, and I did the rear ones a couple years ago maybe, and I was going to do the fronts. Actually, I ordered all 4 because they're the same part number front and back, and then I didn't have any issues, so I didn't do it. And the back, there was some kind of grinding going on, so I did them. So this time I ordered 2 of them, and I'm going to go ahead and do them, and I'm going to do wheel sensors at the same time. And they came, they're in a package over there. And so it only took 1 day to get here. I'm surprised. I'm looking at this lower ball joint. You see that there? I want to take a better look at it. But I put the tire back on prior to taking that nut loose. Excuse me. Losing my voice today. The play left and right, there was none. Up and down, there was nothing. I couldn't get anything to rattle, make noise. But it does look like this grease seal's loose on that ball joint. Can't say I like that too much. Excuse me. But I'm going to follow through with this and find out if I have to replace that ball joint. I'm guessing I should. Looks like it bolts on right there. Doesn't look like too big a deal, but that's what I say. And then we got this New York rust to deal with. Okay, I got the 3 attaching bolts on the back side. They're 13 mil. I got the I think it's 21 mil bolts out. I got all these bolts out, and then now we got to separate this and drop this off, get the wheel bearing off. I want to try to keep it straight, but I do want the axle to go back. So when you turn it, there's a lot more room back there. You can push it, but it's harder because you're over here, over there. I usually knock out a stud, and then I put a bolt in here, and I take it back to something solid, like maybe here, and then tighten it up, and it's going to tilt it out. I don't have one of the hub pulling tools, and this is so filthy here that if I sprayed it, it'd be a muddy mess probably, but I could scrape all this off, maybe try to soak this. I'm about out of time for today. Let it soak overnight, and then when I get a minute, get back out here and beat on it. I've taken a sledgehammer before and just whacked on it because they're junk, you know, not reusing it. And then sometimes it walks out a little bit. And then other than that, I tried making a hub puller once for that Subaru, and that didn't work out so good. Subarus are tough, but this looks pretty tough. I don't know. Maybe I'll clean this edge and soak it. But I don't feel that good. There's some kind of bug going around. It's getting my voice. But definitely getting a little bit of PB Blaster or something in there. It's going to help. And I think I'll try that next. Let her soak. Well, I sprayed it a little bit. Let her soak in, and I think I'll hit it again. I just thought I'd try this real quick. This is a concrete anchor bolt I had. I think I bought them when I did the lift here. Or another project. I use them often. So if you put a nut on the inside and go against the spindle, hopefully it won't walk off in there. And just tighten this up. I did bring out, gotta hold her still. Be better if this had a head on it. Yeah, I'll probably grab some vice grips. Because sometimes this works to tilt it, walk it out. We'll see if it happens. Yeah, a 3/4 wrench. Vice grips on her. We're going to look right there and see if anything will happen. Sometimes, you know, like I said, we're in the Rust Belt. I think if we were in Florida, like Raymond Ray, probably give it a little love tap, fall out. Wow, we need to go to Florida and buy vehicles. But we're at home. We don't have all the luxuries of good tools to lift and all this, you know, endless money to buy things. So we're going to struggle here. It looks like this might start walking. There's not a good flat surface here. Way back there would be good, but it's off center. But if I get pressure on it, a lot of pressure on it, a lot of times you give it a tap. Tighten, tap, tighten, tap, tighten. We'll get a smaller hammer here. And then we can take the air hammer and try that too. Put a little in there. It's just the vibrations, what we need. And go a little tighter and a little tighter. And then sometimes it goes pop, falls right off. So I'm going to do this in steps. And like I said, I'm about out of time, so I might just crank some pressure on it and let it set overnight. And it might come right off in the morning. It's getting pretty tight. You can't get in there too good to do anything else. I did come in this way and try to hit it, but you can't get swinging room. If I was underneath it on a stand-up lift, then, you know, I definitely get a better job. You can't use a puller and push on the axle. And they do that big hub puller. I don't have that. If all else fails, I'll have to buy one, but let's not have this fail, right? I'm just going to keep tightening and banging, tightening and banging. If we got a little bit, it means something. Struggles. Probably got to turn my air pressure up a little bit. And this shouldn't hurt the spindle any. Phew. Guess what? There's a little gap right there. I think it's working. Probably you can't see it, right? I'll put PB Blaster in a squirt. Buy it in a gallon, it's cheaper. Yeah, it goes right down in there. So this is working, I think. Probably ought to put some gloves on. Down in here. I don't want to hurt the backing plate. So I don't want to beat on that part too much, but usually you can take the backing plate and hammer it flat if you do damage it. It's definitely come loose, but she's rusted. You get the drift. It's all a struggle up here working on underneath the vehicle in the rust belt. So when I break that free, that spindle should walk out. The bearing, the hub part, it's about a ½ inch, and it's got to come out of there, maybe an inch. And we'll have to clean up the axle when we're done, the splines, make sure we don't touch them and hurt them. Well, it's still putting up a fight here. I ended up getting out some chisels, air chisels, and these kind damaged the backing plate a little bit. I don't think it hurt too much, but I think she's pretty loose now. Holy moly. So, let's see what we got here. I'd say we got a bad wheel bearing. What do you think? That's not too bad. I can straighten that. The axle looks good. The tone ring thing looks alright. I'll clean that up. Your speed sensor's not broken here, but it probably will when I get it out. And when I do a wheel bearing, I do the speed sensor. So I'm going to get the buffing wheel, get this all cleaned up, get it nice and flat. If I have any burrs on it, I'll file it. We're going to clean this axle up real nice, get it all shiny. And then probably just soak it for now. And then here's our bearing. Here's another stud fell out. And I'd have to say, that's seen better days. You don't even see. See, there's a few ribs here, and then it's smooth. Ribs and smooth. So I would have to say, this could be the jumping problem that I'm getting on the pedal. So I don't think we're doing bad. What I'm going to do is get this all cleaned up. I'm going to check on the ball joint while I'm at it because I'm right here. Maybe I'll spray these up. And then, are these, let's see if they're riveted or bolted. I can't tell. Got to get some light. Could be bolted, but let's see what we got here. They are, yeah, kidding. They're riveted. That's stupid. What do you got by the hole? Lower control arm, probably. Just because this is up. I didn't get play out of it. I don't get rattle over bumps. But I'm concerned about this pushed up. I don't think I did it. It's possible. If so, I'll push it back down. Get some grease in there. So I'm running out of time, so I'll have to get back to this tomorrow. We'll see you then. Blink of an eye. Next day, guys. I still don't have my voice back. I just vacuumed up this area, get this cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to go through and clean everything here, get everything ready. I think I may put in the ball joints, and it looks like I've got to grind off the rivets. What a stupid design. And clean up the brake. Just clean everything, get it prepared to install, and find out if I can go ahead and put the wheel bearing on and assembly prior to you know, doing the ball joints. I have to wait for those. And I could go start the other side, but it's hard to hold the axle still, you know, to take the nut off and so on. I was thinking about doing them as a pair, and I just don't want to do both sides at the same time. And I'll get started on this. Start with a speed sensor. This is how they usually come out in New York. The 10 millimeter. I got that free, and then you try to, well, you spray it, which I did, and then you try to turn, grip on here, and then, oop, she breaks right off. That's how they work. That's why I always do a speed sensor at the same time with a wheel bearing. So got some drill bits out, and I'm going to drill down through there, probably a small bit, and then clean it up with a bigger bit. Once it's small enough, it should come out. And it don't matter if you spray up here, it doesn't get down here. The electrolysis has happened, you know. Just to show you how bad the electrolysis is, check this out. I didn't even pry down there. I didn't touch it down there. Look at the pits in that. So I'm going to clean this up, get it nice and flat for the new bearing. I put in the new sensor. It fits nice. It's cleaned out. Came out in pieces. Simple things like when they build cars to put lube on everything. That would help. Alright. I was cleaning up the backing plate and had a sharp edge on it. Cut my knuckle. Right on my pinky there. That's great, right? So, put a little paint on this. This has that little recessed area. And this corner was damaged from here. I just want to make sure it fits. I put my bolts in. Make sure everything lines up. And they do. The backing plate clears. I don't want to put my speed sensor in yet because it's delicate. I think I'll just wait and do that at the end. I sanded in here as good as I could. Again, there's like electrolysis, so you get a little muck in there. I got some wheel bearing grease. I'm gonna dab it to you, not too much. Don't make a slopping mess, but less friction pulling it in, you know. And go all the way around that. I took the air hose and I blew off all the debris, anything in there. Got that pretty clean. I think they should design something like a gasket instead of steel against aluminum. But these engineers, they know what they're doing, you know. I'm just gonna Put a little grease on her. You know, cars have been around, you know, more than 100 years. They should know how many end up in the boneyard, and that's because they rust out, not really wear out, because parts are replaceable, but body panels are hard to come by. I want to lube this area up. This has a little convex or concave here and help you get it started. Probably a little dab in the threads. I don't know why, but probably not necessary. And then, like I said, not too much. Don't want to gum this thing all up. Wipe off any excess. I'd like to get my voice back. You guys don't want to hear it anyway. But I got a sore throat. Kids at school were sick. Then they bring it home to the parents. Okay. Push my bolts back a little bit. Put my bearing up. On the ball joints, they're going to take a couple days to get here. I did Amazon. There's free returns if I don't want to use them. I'm not sure I want to use them. They're not no play in them, you know. And then turn this to line up. And I can start my bolts and pull this bearing in straight. Run out to 1/2-inch gun, see if that's gonna do it better than that little 3/8. I think in Florida the 3/8 will probably work, but New York, rust. And then to reach these bolts better, it's easier when you turn the wheel assembly to get to them all. And I'm gonna make sure they're all started. I want to draw it in as straight as possible, you know. I'm going to take the caliper, the drum, or the rotor, and the bracket and everything and sand them up, get them clean. Put some paint on them, get them looking much better than they are. Let's see if we can get this started. Get my ratchet to cooperate here. The top one I think is. I'm using a wobble extension that comes in on a slight angle, which helps. The drive axle's in the way. I think I do things much differently. There's so much easier ways to work on a car. They make it difficult. This access, you know, would be a lot better. I think I could use a shorter extension. Let me get a 3-inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw that up, make sure my backing plate's in tight. Suck that in. I'll check the torque setting. It's a 1/2-inch. 13mm bolt, so probably 60 pounds or something. I don't know. I'll check it out. All right, now I'm gonna do the vehicle speed sensor, wheel speed sensor, and this has clips on it. I'm going to follow where they go, and they go up through the fender well and get them clipped in. I'll check the connection. I don't know if I need any dielectric grease in it. The torque spec on that was 96 foot-pounds, and the lugs are 140, and the caliper bolts were, I don't know, I took a picture of it. I gotta look them up, but I'm gonna torque them up. I'm gonna go ahead and put all this assembly together, but I gotta do this first. So these just unsnap. Follow up through, got 10mm bolt. I like to put a little bit of grease around this, not a lot, but enough that this doesn't seize in the bore like it did. Now I gotta take off this whole stupid beauty front cover, all them clips around there. Gotta take off the air filter box. There's a whole bunch of screws in that, and the screw, clamp, mass airflow sensor, all that. And then I got to probably remove the box for the air filter just to get down to that stupid wire for the speed sensor. So the beauty cover and the air filter box, all that stuff. And then I still can't get the box out. It's stuck down in the fender where the air comes in. And then the this light somewhere here. There is a speed sensor down there, and there's tape on it to the other one, so you can't pull and unplug it anyway. So I got to get some cutter, maybe a razor down in there and cut that tape so it can pull free. We're talking a bear, guys, getting that in there. That's terrible. I hope the other side's easier. That's under the fuse box over there. Ugh. All that crap's back together. Got the speed sensor in. It goes in and locks inside the fender well. Got the little holders. So now we're going to move on to putting the rotor, the caliper assembly, all that back together. Here's a tiger. Hey, Tig. I know, it's warm, isn't it? We're sweating. Yeah, he wants to go and get a snack. And I think I'm going to leave this bonnet cover, whatever they call that around there, off, because I want to do an oil change too. It's easier to get to the filter. Okay, lug nuts torqued, wheel hub torqued, axle torqued, brakes together, pedal pumped, got pedal, wheel sensor installed. Now we head over to this other side, do it all repeat. We're going to do the same both sides. Alright, starting this side, got to let the vehicle down so I get the axle nut off. We're going to do a repeat on everything on the other side. there you have it. The wheel speed sensor on this side was not broken. That one came out. I did buy one, and it hooks down in there. But we got everything back together, both sides. I hear a woodpecker out there. Got the rotors cleaned up, pads back on, things adjusted, everything looks good. I left this beauty thing, whatever you want to call it, off. I want to change the oil. It's easier to get down to things. I think what else I want to do in here. One other thing I want to do, but I want to clean it up, change the oil. Still on the lift here, but let's look at them wheel bearings. There's one of the speed sensors. This is the one we just did. See the back side? That's why she didn't want to come off in there. Beat the living snot out of it. See how I damaged trying to get that out of there. See, there's part of your I don't know if you call that the tone ring. I'm not too sure. It still moves. I don't feel anything bad on it, but probably was. See, I beat the snot out of it getting that off in there. And same with this side. See this? It's got beat the living tar out of it. And then this back side was actually worse. Most of that ring thing is gone. But what happens is the axle seizes up right here where it touches. They should put like a, I don't know, neoprene seal or something right here. And then they should lube it. Everything's always assembled dry. How you get them apart. And then where it sits on this, you get electrolysis. And trying to get that, you know, 3/4 inch lip or whatever off in there, you just beat the snot out of it. So I'm tired out. My voice is gone. I put cardboard on the floor under the garage. Look at this here, man. That's one side. A lot of rusty mess under there. And I'm just getting ready to probably change the oil first. Get that bonnet thing put back on. It's over there. And then give it a road test. Hopefully we got no lights, no pulsation in the brake pedal. The, I don't know what you call it, stabitrak and all-wheel drive and the anti-lock, all that stuff was lit up. So usually just a speed sensor does it. But if you're going to do a speed sensor with 152,000, put a wheel bearing in it. So I did the back a couple years ago. Now we did both fronts. The ball joints, I ordered them. They're not in yet. I can't wait a couple more days. I think 2 more days or something. So I want to road test to make sure our problem is solved. If it is, I might just send it back. I wanted to clean under here. You take this cover off and then you see all this junk from the winter. I want to get this out of the cowl and just spruce it up in here and check all the fluids and get this on its way. That lift was kind of helpful. Getting this up and down, being inside the garage, even though it's 82 and sunny. Kind of nice day out there. I got to get this thing done. It worked out good. We had the right tools with us. And, you know, it's a struggle at home. But thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.